So welcome back to this video. So in this video we are going to be discussing the top 10 cannabis stocks which are dominating the market. So one of the first ones is Canopy Growth, and Canopy Growth has now recently teamed up and partnered with Constellation Brands. So first of all, let's head over to Canopy Growth, have a look at the actual chart to see whether you should be investing in Canopy Growth at the moment. So as we can see, Canopy Growth has been steadily going up in value. Right now, I believe that this stock, it's below its 200-day moving average, below its 50-day moving average, but on a long-term chart, it's still on an uptrend, and we see that it keeps on making higher highs. We'll just have to see. This looks like it could be a ascending triangle that we're looking at. So not a bad stock. I would probably wait to see confirmation, as we can see with our indicators. MACD is going down, money stream, so we do find that there is money that's leaving the stock at the moment. Whether this continues to go higher or not, we'll just have to wait and see whether Canopy Growth is actually going to continue its trend. It would have been a really good buy back in 2016. Which is why it's really good to get into these charts if you got back in 2014 at 55 cents. And literally, if you spend $200-300 holding the stock right now, you could make quite a lot of money with this stock. So if we go back to if we have a look on a 7-day chart, each candle represents 7 days, 1 week. So as you can see, if you had purchased the stock all the way back here, now the thing is it did sort of consolidate and trade in a sideways pattern, mainly from 214 to about the 28th of July 2016. So you wouldn't have really made a profit this side. But if you had gotten in just over here when the indicator's at $4, even if you spent $1,000, and you chose to invest in the stock, $1,000 would have quickly turned into quite a bit of money if you just held onto the actual market. So right now, on the 7-day chart, we know that every time it comes down to its 50-day moving average, that we usually can expect it to rally. So we could expect the stock, possibly depending on sales and what comes out, and continually looking at our actual stock charts to wait for the correct buying opportunity. But if we see a buy signal, then potentially that we could get involved in the stock. So not a bad looking stock, and let's head off to our next one. So we get to Innovative Industrial Properties. Basically it's a REIT, real estate investment trust, and it's just basically a firm which invests in properties that are growing and processing cannabis. So we see that we are starting to find more of your large sort of REITs get involved in this, and I think you'll find a lot more REITs getting involved in this because we know that retail sales have been down quite drastically. So we want to just have a look and see, what does this innovative industrial properties actually look like, because that will actually give us an indication of how profitable these cannabis companies are, and whether a lot of money is going to be coming into these markets. So let's have a look and see what it looks like. So what we can see is that definitely that this REIT, Innovative Industrial Properties, there seems to be 2 of them here. Let's just have a look. We've got one that's already up at the $123 range. So yeah, it's a little bit late here because we see this is known as a shooting star. We see a shooting star. We see that really MACD is, it seems pretty high up here. We do have a decrease in volume. Money stream is still up. TSV is going down. We'll just have to wait and see what the actual signal, if it holds, that support and we see it go higher, or if it comes back down and finds new support before making higher moves. But if you look just from this point here to this point over here, we had a 36% return on investment in roughly 23 days. So it seems like the REITs, or this particular REIT in the cannabis market, seems to be doing pretty well. And then we've got the same stock here. I don't know why there's two different stocks here, but we see also the stock has gone up higher. Okay, we do see some selling off today. For the last 3 days, MACD does seem to be going down. Volume does seem to be going down. I don't like the fact that this stock has only got 5,000 shares trading per day. I prefer to see a stock that is trading and has a lot more than 5,000 shares traded per day. This stock seems to have on average about 341,000 and as high as 1.8 million. So not too bad. We do see here where the money stream has come down. This is the one thing that's sort of concerning me about this REIT at the moment, is we do see money leaving the stock, and it's also confirmed in the actual histogram. But maybe we just have to see. This could be because the actual markets have been selling off for the past few weeks. People taking profits from this June to sort of the beginning of June. We had a increase here of 46% in 15 days. So, if you got into the stock over here, 15 days, you rode it up, you would have made quite a bit of money with that. So this REIT is looking pretty good. Let's see if we can hold support here. If we can hold support here and the stock bounces back up, we do see a little bit of support actually forming over here, then perhaps it will be a good time to buy. We'll look at now Aurora Cannabis Stock. I believe we looked at this earlier in the week, and we'll have a look and see what this stock is like, what it looks like in terms of on the chart. So as you can see, I mean, we've had highs of $12.50. It is holding above the 500. It's below the 50. It's come past the 200-day. It's still below the 50. For me, this isn't a perfect buying opportunity right now. Money stream is going up. MACD is going up. What you'd have to do is just enter this. Yeah, I would want to look for more confirmation, because we know that when stocks hit a 50, oftentimes they can pull back down. So we just have to see on a longer term chart here, on a 3-day chart. Again, we see like a triangle forming here on the long term basis, and we'll just have to wait for that. On a 3-day, it's not looking too bad. We do have a bit of a buy signal off the 50-day moving average. I'd like to see it close above the 11. But if you wanted to take a chance, the only thing is, in terms of going long at the moment, is that you've got MACD, which is going down. Volume has been going down as well. Money stream also down. So for me, I prefer to see patterns like this. So not a stock that I would want to just get involved in right now. So let's have a look at. So this is a company that's a commitment to generating positive earnings and creating value. Yeah, they all say that until you have a look at the chart. The chart tells you everything. The chart will tell you the fundamentals, because again, another stock below its 50, below its 200. It's had a huge run up. I mean, if you got involved in the stock when it was $1, if you have a look there, that's 1,494% in just over 1.7 years. So if you just imagine that if you got involved in these stocks back in the day, yeah, let me just go back in time, yeah. If you got involved when these stocks started making these moves, and all you did was spend $1,000 or $500, and you did nothing but hold on to the stock until you saw the sell signals, major sell signals, such as these candles here. I mean, that was sort of like a bell toll pattern or piercing line. That you would have made a heck of a lot of money in terms of at 138. It really started crossing over there. So 111 to, even if you got out over there, you still made 1,476% return on investment in 1.8 years. So these are the things that you want to be looking at. So again, we'll just have to see, does it bounce back below the 50 or cross it? We'll just have to wait and see. Volume does go down. So right now, we just have to wait for the actual buy signal. We'll have to see, does the stock hold the support line? And then just to know that we've got resistance coming up over this point over here. And let's have a look at the very next one. So this is CanTrust Holdings. Let's have a look and see if we can see CanTrust Holdings. So this is a 3-day chart. We see that once again the stock seems to be channeling. Every time it reaches a certain level, it goes back up. So this might not be too bad. Again, if we can never be 100% sure, but as long as you put your stop losses in place, you should be good. Now the problem is here that money stream has really been leaving this stock, and MACD is down. We do see a sort of a divergence here, price going down, but histogram getting less and less. It doesn't have bad share volume. We do find, let's have a look on a daily chart. Wait for the buy signal to come in. Money stream has gone a bit positive on the 1-day chart. On the 3-day, not looking too bad, but again, we are at a support level. And that sort of support level, I never draw them to the T, but you can see if we had to draw again another support line, every time the stock has touched support, it's usually come up, and we can see that these candles, they haven't made lower lows. So price is holding. It might not be a bad time to get into the stock. If you are hesitant, you could always put your stop loss slightly below, or you could just wait for a buy confirmation. Green Organics Dutchman. Let's have a look at this stock. It's a premium cannabis company focused on the medical markets in Canada, Europe, and the Caribbean. Annual production capacity 2 tons. Ultimately grow 1,000%. So let's have a look at this. As you can see, huge sell-offs here. This is a daily chart for TGODF, the Green Organic Dutchman Holdings. I don't see, I prefer to actually see buy signals like you see over here. If you saw these buy signals over here and you even rode them up to there, that's 37% in 1 month. I don't like to see below 50, below 200. To me, when a company's below 50, below 200, it's generally indicating that there's something fundamentally flawed with the actual sales or something that they're not telling us. Because if the company was making good sales, it would be above the 50, above the 200. So for me, the 50 and the 200 are automatic filters in terms of buying and selling, in terms of going long. So yeah, not exactly a company I would want to get involved in right now. Emerald Health Therapeutics. Let's have a look what they say. Supply deals with British Columbia, Alberta, Ontario, Quebec. Let's have a look and see what they say, because you always find the talking heads. They tell you, again, you can see here this stock is well below the 50, below the 200. It's even crossed the 500-day moving average. It's had its high of about $8. So right now, it does seem to have found support here, but we'll just have to wait and see what's going on here. So at this moment, I'm not looking for longs until I get a buy signal to the upside. You don't want to be too early on. For me personally, everyone's got different trading styles, but right now we'd want to wait for a buy signal. We have money stream leaving the stock. Let's have a look on a 3-day chart. We do have a bounce on a 3-day on support. It's always good to look at 3-day charts. I think 3-day charts give you a good overall feel about the actual market. So it does seem to be, if it holds above this and keeps on going higher, that might be an indication to get in. But money stream down, TSV down, volume, as you can see, huge sell-off of volume there. So Tilray, TLRY, Tilray, international presence in 13 different countries, major agreement with alcohol beverage maker Anheuser-Busch InBev. Alright, annual production of 63 tons, projects it will grow to 163 tons. Let's have a look and see what they say about the stock. Let's see what the actual Alright. Not looking too bad on a 3-day chart. On a 3-day chart, not looking too bad. It's coming up above its 50, so actually might not be a bad time to get involved in the stock. We do see they were selling off, but now there's indecision in the market. Money stream up, MACD starting to go up. The only thing is volume in terms of buying and selling dropped a bit, but which is alright. I think the stock is going to go on to make higher highs just based on this chart pattern. It's been selling off really since November last year, October last year, and I suspect that we'll see the stock heading higher. Yeah, so not too bad. We'll just have to wait for a stronger buy signal. In terms on a daily, I think when you got this indecision from the sell-off, you got buyers coming in, breaking the 50, slides back down, we can expect this to go higher. Next stock, Aleafia Health. Cannabis health and wellness company with 3 major cultivation facilities and a portfolio of high-margin derivative products such as oils, capsules, and sprays. So it's always good when you start seeing these companies going to more than just one market. Let's have a look and see what these guys are doing. You can see if there's one thing that you've noticed, all these cannabis companies have more or less the same pattern. Sharp spikes up, sharp sells down. And the previous company that we looked at as well, that money had been leaving the actual stock. So right now, not looking too bad on a daily chart. We'll just have to see whether we break this 50, and if we make new highs. I mean, there's a bit of indecision there. 3-day, we'll just have to wait and see. I mean, if ever you want to get involved in a stock and you're not sure what to do, I mean, either wait for the signals or you put your line in the sand and just basically wait for the actual stock to do its thing. If you had got involved in this price over here, and even if you got out over more or less here, 210% return on investment in 1.4 months. So not too bad. I mean, at this price here, it was at 77 cents, and if you sold out over here, it was at $2.39. So not too bad. Not too bad. Cron. This is the last one. Taking a differentiated scientific-based approach to cannabis. Canadian market to test different combination of cannabinoids and terpenes to develop unique products. I actually think the biggest breakthrough in cannabis is not going to be THC. I think that we're going to find in the future that these terpenes, they are going to be, we're now able to extract terpenes from the different cannabis strains. I think that's when we're going to find a whole new market open up, which is going to send these stocks going higher, because we know right now that cannabis companies are producing CBD and THC products. But I believe that based on my own research and study of the various different cannabis strains and plants that you get out there, each strain has its own unique terpene, and I think that we'll see breeders in the future develop cannabis plants specifically for the terpenes. I think we're going to find that there's going to be a huge market, that these terpenes are going to be hugely beneficial to individuals who have specific health conditions. So that's just my little 2 cents on the terpene subject, because the terpenes, you know that if you smoke even the same cannabis strain that has different terpenes in it, you can have completely different effects. And I think the terpenes are greatly underestimated. And the thing is, you don't need too many terpenes in an actual strain to feel the difference. So if you have 2 Jack Heras and one has got a slightly stronger terpene than the other Jack Hera, you find that your high is completely different. So let's just have a look at the actual cron. Cron, not looking too bad. I mean, we've had a run up, we've had a sell off. Now it's the waiting game, and that's the thing. A lot of your trading is going to be waiting for the signal. Does it break above? Does it break below? It's still in an uptrend. It's still in an uptrend on the 3-day. If we look on a daily chart, It's below it's above the 200. It's above the 50, and I would be willing to bet that the stock goes higher. But again, that would be a guess. I don't like to guess. I like to wait for confirmation in price signals. But if you had gotten in the stock in the early days, I mean, if you had got in back 199, and you even sold off there, you're looking at just 1.5 years, $976. So not bad, and yeah, not bad at all. So that's it for this analysis of the top 10 cannabis stocks on the market. If you would like to find out more, sign up to the site where you can get news all the time. I also give free picks, daily picks, and you can find out more how to trade cannabis stocks and penny stocks, as well as stocks, options, and we cover some gold markets. So that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you want to find out more, sign up and you can get more updates. Thank you. All the best.